Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk, a discussion about all things automotive. I'm Cory.
And I'm Matt, and each week this podcast will serve as a catalyst for discussion on all sorts of topics that grind our gears, rev our engines, or just need a bit more conversation.
And on this week's episode, we have a very special guest.
Indeed. We got to sit down and discuss all things automotive with none other than Faron Smith of Save the Texas Dune Buggy, Kit Car, and Sand Rail. It was a lot of fun getting to talk air-cooled, getting to talk Texas legislation and Bruce Myers and all kinds of fun stuff in this episode.
It was a very dangerous episode for the finances of Garage Talk. So to that end, I'm just going to plug right now, just share this episode with all your friends, help get our listens up. Go visit our website, gtgaragetalk.com.
Buy some merch.
Yeah, do all the things to help us in this addiction that we are starting with project vehicles and just all the fun stuff that is yet to come from your friends over here at GT Garage Talk.
And don't forget to jump over to Patreon also and check out. We had a couple of bonus questions with Faron after our interview, and you can only find those on Patreon.
Yep, just patreon.com/GT Garage Talk. The $5 a month tier and up. So that we've got some fun perks out there at various different price points. We thank you for listening. This content will always be 100% free. We just want to give a little something extra for those who support our addiction, our habit, our whatever you want to call this. We just appreciate it. You know, we've got some fun things out there. We've started doing some car reviews.
Yeah.
We've had a couple loaner vehicles given to us by Pelche Kia here in Tyler, Texas. So huge shout out and thank you to them. If you are looking for a brand new Kia that is nothing like my father's 1997 Kia Sophia, reach out to our good friends Josh over at Pelche Kia here in Tyler. We had just an awesome couple of weekends worth of vehicles. So we had a K5 GT line, all-wheel drive, loved it, beautiful color. You'll have to head over to our website, read the blog post all about it, and we've got a YouTube video of that coming up very soon. So
very soon, yeah.
Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, all the links are on our website. We make it easy for you. And then this past weekend, for us sitting here recording right now, don't know when you're listening to this, but we took Kia's storytelling machine, the new 2021 Kia Sorento, out on a little camping trip, my family and I, and that was a little fun. And then you and I reviewed it as well on top of that. So just really digging in deeper to the whole marketing aspect of these rigs, and two very beautiful, very capable cars that I think you and I are both a little smitten over.
Just a bit, yeah.
Don't want to give away too much of our reviews, but we really liked them.
Most definitely. Yeah. Bang for your buck would be how I would describe both of them. I mean, all the amenities, all the tech, and I'm not a tech person.
Yeah, to hear you say all the tech as something you're listing as a positive, about knocked me out of my chair just now. I'm not going to lie. But see, I'm winning you over. I remember you drove it.
I'm simply saying, all I'm saying is for the amount of tech that you get for the dollar amount that you would spend on that rig, it blows everybody out of the water. Right. It's incredible.
Yep. So stay tuned for our full reviews of both of those rigs coming out very soon. We'll have blog posts on gtgaragetalk.com and YouTube videos on our YouTube channel. Just one more quick thing. I mentioned my family.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So just a huge, huge happy birthday to my son, Mr. Marcus Tucker, the biggest Lightning McQueen fan I know. Tomorrow is his third birthday, and it's going to be Cars themed, and we're very excited about it. I cannot tell you how many little die-cast cars we have in this house, and the most obscure of characters.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ryan Inside Laney, Nick Stickers. I'm trying to think of some of the others that you, as just a casual fan of cars would never know. But my son knows them, and
Oh, yeah?
he knows them by name, and he'll go and grab them out of the box. So,
Oh, yeah.
yes, Tucker, happy birthday, happy third birthday. Your daddy loves you. And that's enough for us and our family. This was a very fun episode, and I think we should jump right into it.
Let's do it. Well, we want to welcome this evening Mr. Faron Smith of Save the Texas Dune Buggy, Sandrails, and Kit Cars. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you and I not officially have met until just here recently via Garage Talk and some discussion on a show that you've got coming up this summer. But I found out about you about 3 or 4 years ago in a Hot VW's magazine article.
It all comes back to VWs with you, doesn't it, Matt?
It's all Volkswagen. But it was talking about this Facebook page you'd started and this movement that you have brought to Texas about how legislation had changed and how we were working on, or how you were working on trying to change it back where sandrails and dune buggies and kit cars could be legal again in the state of Texas. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about that, and then we'll kind of get into some of your car history and that type of thing.
Okay, well, with Save the Texas Dune Buggy, Sandrail, and Kit Car, I had moved back to Texas from out of state, and I had this dune buggy that was about 50% finished, and then all of a sudden I start looking, and I'm like, holy smokes, the state of Texas is not going to let me title and register this thing here in Texas.
Yeah.
April of 2014 is when they cut everything off.
Okay.
And, I'm not one to take no for an answer, and it kind of, for lack of a better term, it really made me mad that they were trying to keep all of us from doing that. So next thing I know, I was starting up a Facebook page and blurting out and going to every page and talking to everybody I knew about it. And next thing I know, I'm leading this grassroots effort that was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it has been very grassroots and very cool to watch this group expand, and now to see some legislation changes from that. What exactly was kind of the process of going about changing what let me back up here.
I get what you're trying to say. Probably what the process was is once the grassroots effort started, I realized, man, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this alone as far as get through all of the legal mumbo jumbo, if you will. So I kind of befriended another guy, his name's Justin, and he said, hey man, we need to hire a lobbyist. And the lobbyist that he happened to suggest, his name's Ron Hinkle, and before this, he was known for getting the slingshot, the Polaris slingshot, legal in the state of Texas, because they weren't allowing it at the beginning, and then they called it an auto cycle. And
yeah, you see those things everywhere now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
It's pretty cool, and you see them in all kinds of different ways. They're pretty neat.
Definitely.
So once we hired, that was a huge step in itself, because all of a sudden I'm signing a contract saying I'm going to pay this gentleman X number of dollars, and I'm like, eek. And so we started the raising funds and all of that good stuff, and it was amazing how quickly everything just kind of came through. And every month it was a struggle to get to that amount, but we did every single month. It was really cool. Once the lobbyist was hired, you want me to keep going, or you want me to
go for it.
Well, once the lobbyist Ron was hired, then we kind of knew what we were doing, and he'd coach me and say, "Hey, Faron, you need to do this, or we need to do that." And with the effort of I'm kind of the guy that everybody says did it, but I mean, I couldn't have done it without everybody in the group that was helping. There was tons of people sending me message. I spent 30, 40 hours a week on it, probably on top of everything else that I had going on. And
Wow.
but it was worth every single second. I learned so much, and yeah, I got to speak in front of the House. I got to speak in front of the Texas Senate. Pretty spectacular, really, because I'm just a normal guy, and here I am talking in front of these important legislators. It was pretty neat, and like I said, couldn't have done it without everybody's help. I mean, it was phenomenal.
That is way cool. Way cool. What were some of the biggest hurdles of trying to get this started, and then also trying to get it through legislation?
Money.
Money.
Money is a big problem. Because I knew I couldn't afford to pay for the lobbyist every month, but Ron is a super cool guy. I mean, the kind of guy you go sit down and have a beer with.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Really a fun guy to be around, and interesting, and so willing to go out of his way to make sure that everything goes smoothly. It was money was an issue, was a problem, and then just not knowing what the process was. But like I said, we had a great coach.
Yeah.
And that was Ron.
Very cool.
So talk a little bit, because we have a very broad audience, talking a little bit about some of the vehicles that were impacted. I know listed them off, saying rails, dune buggies, and things like that. But, layman's terms for our broad audience, what was the situation that you were facing other than the fact that your particular vehicle could not be registered and titled here in Texas?
Well, to kind of narrow it down, first off, with dune buggies, like the Myers-Manx dune buggies and the clones and stuff like that, and kit cars, like DF kit car, all kinds of kit cars were in there. I mean, to name them, I can't remember them all right now as far as the modern ones go, but yeah, it would. And to be blunt with you, sandrails did not make it through. And if you want me to, I'll go through why here now, or you can ask me questions, whatever's best for you.
Okay. Well, that was next on my list of questions, mentioning that the sandrails portion ended up being pushed a little later out.
Well, it was with I got a call, and they said, look, we've got one senator, and one senator alone, that says that he doesn't want the sandrails to get pushed through. And the reason he didn't want them to get pushed through was because he felt that the people that he hired and that the DMV hired and trained wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a sandrail and a UTV. And UTVs, if you look at when you buy one, like a side-by-side, they say they're not intended for street legal use. And so he was worried that they would be kind of grouped in, and then UTVs would be able to get street legal, and that was something he really didn't want. Now, when it comes to dropping sandrails, when I got that phone call, I mean, we were all super bummed. I mean, that's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
With a heavy heart, we went forward and said, okay, we're going to drop the sandrails. And the reason that we went ahead and dropped the sandrails is with the legislation and like this, we figured we were real sure that we were going to be able to get the dune buggies and the kit cars through. But if we didn't drop the sandrails, then what would have happened? The entire bill would have been dead in the water right there.
Gotcha.
And once a bill has been killed at that point, it's next to impossible to get a legislator to pick it up in the next legislation. So we felt that it was best for us to kind of drop the sandrails, which it sucked.
Yeah.
I can't put it any other way. I mean, I was really bummed that we had to do that. And by dropping them, we knew that we had another opportunity to pick them up in the next legislation. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, how come you're not working on it right now? But the reason being is right now, because of COVID, it's next to impossible for lobbyists to get up and talk to the legislators. So therefore, we would have really and truly been swept under the rug. We wouldn't have had near the opportunity. So we kind of said, okay, let's skip this legislation and wait for the next one when it's a normal situation. And we have a far better opportunity.
It makes sense. Makes sense. Kind of holding on to the cards for another round just to make sure that you've got the best opportunity.
Exactly.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, so what started you down the path of Volkswagens? What started you on the path of kit cars? Kind of give us some of your car history and background in that aspect of it.
Well, I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the mesas were out there. We could go out and play in the dirt, and I kind of had a friend of the family that had a 300 section ranch to where I could get on it if I wanted to. The only thing I worried about was hitting a cow or something like that,
Yeah.
and then get shot for hitting that cow.
Minor details.
Yeah.
My first car when I was 14 years old was a 1968 Volkswagen Baja Bug. It was orange, had an 1835 single carb. It was obviously it's got a real soft spot, and because of that, I've always loved dune buggies. So that's where it kind of started, and I'm 50, so at 14 is when the bug bit me, and here I am still absolutely loving them.
That's awesome. I grew up. My first one was about 14. It was a 71 Super Beetle, and I've had I don't know, a half a dozen different cars. Now being 32, some of them ran, some of them didn't quite make it to that point. But
I think we're all there.
I've had a lot of fun with them, and a big part of why I joined the group, a big part of why I helped promote the group itself was because I was looking at the time. And it's a little more on the back burner now, but I was looking at the time at getting a kit car for myself or for my family, really a Manx, a 4-seat Manx, so I could
see how he frames it. It's for the family,
right? Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's a smart man, sir. That's a smart man saying it that way.
So I've gotten away from the air-cooled flat fours at the moment. I've got a Subaru, so I'm still in the area, but the next opportunity I have to get one, I want to get one because I've been bit too, and I love it.
Well, that kind of segues into something that I'd like to I'll mention to you.
Yeah.
Once everything ended with the Save the Texas Dune Buggy and we were able to get them legal on the road again, I became a dealer for Acme Car Company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I sell dune buggy parts and accessories here. I'll deliver it. But the neat thing that we've got coming out right now, well, I'm going to start on mine in about 6 weeks. But rather than using a Volkswagen Bug motor, you use a Chevy Cobalt motor, and it's automatic. And you get 300 horsepower reliable out of a little Chevy Cobalt, which when a car that only weighs 1,500 pounds, even with my big old self in it, is quick.
I bet it is. Good grief. That sounds similar to is it the Goblin that was also using those Cobalt engines?
It is. The Goblin does use that.
Okay.
Lonnie and his son, I think Adam, actually helped in the very beginning with Save the Texas Dune Buggy.
Awesome. Until
he just Lonnie just couldn't take it any longer and says, I'm out. I'm going to go do something else because all you guys are boneheads. And so we kept going. He wasn't mad at us as far as the grassroots effort. He was just mad at the way that everything worked with the DMV. They were so difficult to work with.
Oh, yeah. I definitely read into some of the frustration, both from you and several people on the Facebook page commenting and questioning, and why isn't this happening? Why is it happening that way? Why does this have to happen first? And, yeah, it's a long, drawn-out process, and it seems more complicated than it should be, definitely at times.
It's funny. One of the most common questions I got asked when I was doing it is how is a dune buggy safer than XYZ? And most of the time people were saying, how is a dune buggy safer than a motorcycle?
Yep.
And the answer that I got when I point blank asked it was, it doesn't matter because a motorcycle is in a different category than a dune buggy. So it doesn't make a difference.
Wow.
It was that kind of stuff that we had to deal with throughout the entire situation. And it was basically one bonehead that was doing that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and we got it passed.
That's
so
it.
Everybody's happy.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So moving forward with Save the Texas Sandrail now is another separate page that you've started and are running through. How can people help in that process? I mean, obviously, money is the best way to help, but what are some things that we can do along those lines to be able to help with that legislation?
I appreciate you asking that. That's a great question. But at this point in the game, I've got the Save the Texas Sandrail Facebook page up and running, but I'm not really accepting donations because I'm not putting any money out. So why should I be bringing any money in? Because
Gotcha.
not one single red cent when it goes into my pocket. It all goes to the cause.
Awesome.
So I'd much prefer just hold on to your money and save it up when it comes time. Let's do it. And the reason I'm going through with sandrails is because I said I would, and I'm a man of my word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it sounds like the best method right now is join the Facebook group and stand ready.
Yes, sir. Just wait.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely include that in the show notes and be sure that we get that out to our audience as well.
I appreciate that.
So when you and I talked yesterday in preparation for today, you were on the road and you were putting some miles down. My goodness. Tell us a little bit about where you've been just in the past week.
Oh, yeah. Since February the 28th, I've driven by myself 6,650 miles.
My goodness.
And the reason I did that is because Pennsylvania is where Acme's at, and I had sold a sandrail and two chassis. So I went up and picked them up. I dropped one off in Memphis, where my truck got broken into,
Oh.
and in just south of Dallas at Motorsport Ranch. The owner of Motorsport Ranch bought a chassis from me, a Genesis, a long chassis like you're looking for.
Awesome.
Then I came, delivered a couple of things in Houston and Dallas, went home for a little bit, and then I delivered the sandrail in Morenci, Arizona to a gentleman. That sandrail was rocking cool. It had mid-travel. It's called a Stalker 4-seater, and it had mid-travel king shocks on it. It's going to be bad to the bone once it's all finished. But then I went to California. I'm not sure whether either of you know it or not, but Bruce Myers, the inventor of Myers Manx, passed away at the ripe old age of 94.
Man.
I guess it was sometime in February. I don't remember the exact date, but a large group of us. His birthday was this last weekend, and I was in California celebrating with a large group of Manx fanatics, if you will.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I saw that flipping through Facebook, and I saw that he had passed away, and I couldn't believe it. I know he's had some impact on your movement here. He came down for a part of the legislation, if I'm not mistaken, and was helping out in that process. But yeah, I mean, we wouldn't know what to do with our Volkswagen chassis if it were not for Bruce Myers.
And I don't know whether if any of your audience or you have ever met him, but the man he was bigger than life. I mean, he was my friend, and it was spectacular. Anytime you were around him, you felt welcome.
Oh man!
And he'd tell you stories. Not only did he invent Myers Manx, but he not many people know this, but he invented the hot tub, which he didn't get credit for. He invented the plastic bed liners that go in the bed of your truck.
Wow.
He was a war hero. He was in Hawaii when the Zeros started hitting the ships, and his ship was hit. He jumped off of that ship, and he was a surfer before any of this, and he was out there rescuing people.
Wow.
And a lot of us that in the Manx Club have gotten to hear those stories firsthand, but oh man, getting to hear it from him was fantastic.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
That's the best word I could think of. Like you said, it's incredible.
Very, very cool.
You lived a phenomenal dream life.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic.
I see a few crossovers. He'll come up every once in a while. Ian Rousseau, who has blanking on the name of the show, Full Custom Garage, TV show. He's been on and had conversations with Bruce a time or two on that show, and definitely just from the bits of clips that I've seen and a couple of the interviews that I've watched, very down to earth, very very cool guy just to be around.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
I could tell you that if you want to hear it, I've got the first time I ever met him.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I actually, one of the guys in the group said, "Hey, Faron, why don't you come to Manx Manx on the Banks, which is in Nags Head Beach area of North Carolina." And he said, "I'll fly you down here and find you a place to stay." I didn't know anything. I just jumped in the plane and came and went because it was like, hey, this is awesome. I get to see 100 dune buggies all in one spot and in a beautiful spot. So the next thing I know, he picks me up at the airport. We go back to this house, and he said, "Okay, you're going to sleep on that couch." I'm like, cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And so we walk upstairs, and he goes, "Hey, Bruce, Faron's here." And Bruce was laying down about to go to bed, and he wakes up, and he goes, "Oh, Faron with Save the Texas Dune Buggy Sand on the Kit Car. I want to meet him." And the next thing I know is a guy that I consider an icon is coming out saying my name, and I've never talked to him before.
Wow.
And then we sat down, and he told me about the stories about being in the war and how he invented the dune buggy, and he went through 50 years of his life just sitting there, and everybody else went to bed while I got to sit up and listen and talk to him. It was awesome.
Oh, that's a dream encounter for sure. That's incredible.
Yes, sir. Something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Too cool. Definitely. Definitely. So, just so we make sure to get it included, where can people find you? Where can people find and help out with the process of Save the Texas Dune Buggy Sand Rail and Kit Car?
I do everything I can to be as accessible to anybody and everybody at all times. The very best place to find me, really and truly, is Facebook. I've got a funky name, Faron, Faron Smith. And then if you go to Save the Texas Dune Buggy, Sand Rail, and Kit Car, you'll be able to find me there. If you email me, I've got Faron at Save the Texas Dune Buggy. I answer every single email, every single message, because it's important.
Yeah.
And I answer the same question over and over again, but it's that person doesn't know the answer, and he's asking a legit. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask.
Right.
So I feel obligated to answer it in a nice way. I try to do everything as nice as I possibly can.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited, too, to know that you're an Acme dealer, because Acme are the bodies that I've been looking at for my build. So
this is a very dangerous thing for the channel's budget. I can already tell.
Don't tell my wife, okay?
I got a 28-foot enclosed trailer. I'll bring it all right to your door, sir.
We'll have to talk off air here in a bit, just so I don't get in trouble with something recorded here.
See, now you know why I want to get that really massive garage in town.
That's it.
We've got a place to hide all this stuff. It's steps, Matt. It's steps.
Right. That's right. Well, we want to move right along here to our a fun part. It's not the fun part. A fun part of the episode. Random misfire is what it's called. And I have gotten in trouble several times already. We had Bogey Latiner on from All Girls Garage, and she's also an air-cooled Volkswagen gal. And I mentioned that all engines should have 8 cylinders, because that's how many questions we have in the deal. And she got all over me about that. I see you staring me down too. Yeah.
The best engines.
Say that, and as soon as I got my GTX finished, I'm gonna come up there and smoke whatever you got in your garage.
That shouldn't be too hard.
Cylinder.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Shouldn't be too hard. Neither of us have anything spectacular at the moment. But,
yeah. All 197 horsepower in my Subaru.
Yeah, those are great though.
They are. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun little car. So.
Absolutely.
Well, Cory, do you want to fire us off with the first one?
All right, so I'll just get this one out of the way very first and foremost. The one question that has a wrong answer. Do you name your vehicles?
Absolutely.
See?
Awesome.
More people get that one right than
Yeah.
I would have figured,
Yeah.
and I'm very proud of it. So any notable cars or names in your history?
Well, probably the silver dune buggy that I've got right now. It's silver, the body, and then the roll cage, the wheels, and all of the accents are lime green. And when I had a bunch of people come over and help me, they named it for me, and it's been named Snot Rocket.
Nice.
And I've got it on, they made a sticker for me, and I figure, you know what, if they're going to go through all this effort, Snot Rocket it is.
That's fantastic. Love it.
I like it.
All right, so you're an air-cooled Volkswagen guy, so I think you'll be on my side with this one. Cory is the techie of the two of us, but do you prefer more tech or less tech with your vehicles?
Oh, that's a difficult question to answer. And the reason being is because right now I have an air-cooled one in the garage, and I'm fixing to build that it's called a GTX.
Yeah.
I'll have all the techie stuff in there. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
I don't have a straight answer for you. I'm going to say I'm right there in the middle. I'm on both guys' teams.
all right, fair enough.
More often than not, that is the reply, or a version of the reply we get to that is, it really depends on the situation. If it's a fun vehicle, give me something bare bones, but if it's my daily, give me all the goodies. So that's historically.
Yeah, I drive a Lariat, so.
Oh, yeah. Ford guy, too. All right.
Oh, man. I'm outnumbered today.
I knew we were going to get along.
All right. So we'll go a little bit further down that rabbit hole. Are you Team Wrangler or Team Bronco? Which would you rather have, Jeep Wrangler or Ford Bronco? Which do you think has better potential, or bones, or chops?
Oh, that's another difficult question, but probably a Bronco, because my wife likes it.
Yeah. Smart
That's
man.
the truth, because my wife wants one. So.
Yeah, there's a couple I follow on YouTube that do car reviews, and they're replacing her Honda CR-V with a Bronco.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
well, that's quite an upgrade.
No kidding. No kidding. All right.
Yeah.
Would you rather build a vehicle or buy a vehicle?
Well, if it's a daily driver, I want to buy it to where I've got the warranty. But if it's something that's going to be fun, oh, absolutely, I want to build it.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you that I'm an expert builder. I'm a novice builder, but it's way more fun to learn and do it your own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a feeling that was probably where you were going to fall on that one. That's awesome.
All right, going a little more trivial here. Favorite car movie? Help us add to our watch list.
Ooh, probably Christine.
Oh, okay. I've seen clips of that one. I have not seen the whole thing yet.
Like I said,
Well,
add to that watch list.
I'm significantly older, and it's a horror movie, so it's kind of cool.
Nice.
Cheesy graphics, but they were great when it came out.
Right. Classic horror, so it's not this
Jump
new
scare.
Yeah.
Bogus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Manual or automatic?
Eek. How do I answer this?
C'est
If it's
dépend.
air cooled, it's got to have to be a manual. But man, you can't switch gears as fast as an automatic.
Yeah. That's true.
That's why I like. And sometimes it's just nice to get in and cruise and just go.
Fair enough.
All right, last one for me. Let's see. I'm going to find a good one on here. All right. Favorite driving song? What's on your road trip playlist? It could be a genre or a song if you want to go a little wider on that.
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably Disturbed, Down with the Sickness.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Rocking out. Love it.
I'm currently hung. I don't know why, but I was blaring some Fleetwood Mac on my way home last night. So, yeah, the chain is that the end of that song. I'm hooked on it right now.
Like it.
What's the song?
Very cool. All right. Favorite road trip snack? You just spent 6,000 plus miles on the road. What's your favorite snack?
White cheddar popcorn. I ate 4 bags on this trip.
Nice. Nice. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yep.
For sure.
So if you would like, you can stick around and join us on Patreon, where we've got a couple of additional questions for Faron behind the paywall. So go over to patreon.com/GT Garage Talk, and you can pick up just a couple more questions, digging in a little more to his psyche and what makes him tick.
And I'll tack this portion on because I forgot to ask you about it a minute ago. You have a show coming up this July, correct? Or is it June?
I do. It's actually May.
May, okay.
It's May, and it's called Bob, and it's Brenham or Bust. And what it is it's for Manx Club members. So it's all we've got people coming from both coasts. We're expecting probably 30 to 50 dune buggies there, and their drivers and passengers. It's going to be a blast. Basically, what we do is with the Manx Club. The Manx Club gets together. We all know each other fairly well.
Yeah.
And so we basically go cruise, and then we come back and we hang out and enjoy each other's company. It's a blast.
Very cool.
It's like a family reunion every so often.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's a members only thing, right? You'll have to be a part of the Manx Club in order to do that.
Yes,
Okay.
But you can join the Manx Club with her. It doesn't matter if you've got a Myers Manx, you can have a clone, or you can have an Acme, you can have one from 109 Dune Buggies. But you don't even have to have a Dune Buggy at all. You basically join, and you can come out and hang out.
Awesome. Very cool.
Live the culture a little bit.
That's it. Yeah. I'm definitely building one.
I'm definitely able to show you some stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening. Thanks for sharing your story, and we'll be sure to include all the Facebook page links and all that good stuff so people can find you in the show notes. And just a huge thank you for coming on and spending some time with us.
It's been a really good time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You bet.
Okay, so pretty much the whole time he was talking about his dealership, I'm just seeing dollar signs and hearing cha-ching, cha-ching. So, yes, this was a very dangerous episode for us to record.
I haven't quit smiling.
No, you haven't. And the fans can't see it as they're listening to us. But, yeah, this was a good one for both of us. I'm a little nervous about our Garage Talk wish list. I guess we better start an official one so that we can at least have a plan of what we're spending when and where. But
it definitely grew this week by a whole vehicle or 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's small problems for me, but we'll figure it out somehow. But we were incredibly grateful for having Faron on this week, and we will put all the links to everything he referenced in this episode down in the show notes so that you can find him on Facebook, find the Facebook group, and help support this legislation as it goes through the state of Texas. There are a lot of hurdles and loopholes and things that need to be taken care of, and you heard it straight from Faron himself. The biggest issue truly is money and helping pay for a lobbyist who knows all the ins and outs and how to actually get legislation passed. So
Definitely. But to me, it was also cool, and one of the big things that stuck out to me in the episode was that an individual can make a huge difference,
right,
even when it comes to our state government. Like, it was a Facebook page. It was an idea, and it has turned into the legalization or the re-legalization of dune buggies and kit cars, and hopefully soon to be sand rails again in the state of Texas. So,
and I went and I checked. His cover photo is Snot Rocket, and I like it.
It's pretty sweet.
I approve of the brightly colored wheels and roll bar. Yeah, I approve. Stamp of approval. So, again, just thank you so much for listening. Be sure to share with all your friends, family, anyone who might even be slightly interested in all things automotive. This is just a fun discussion each and every week. Head on over to gtgaragetalk.com for more. Until next time, bye.